Ladies and gentlemen, good day. Welcome back to yet another session of ATA Solutions, and we continue our series on Tally ERP. Last time we had module 1. If you have not yet watched that video, please you can go back and you watch it. We covered how to create a company file, how to set multiple currencies, and also enter the opening balances. But then we said we are going to enter opening balances for stock in a separate way. So it is what we are going to cover during this session. Okay. But before we delve into entering the opening stock or inventories, I want to show you something here. We have made a compilation because we have received so many emails of people who want to practice questions. So we have made this question bank for you, and it entails quite a lot. Whatever that we practice, matters computerized accounting, advanced, Excel for accounting and finance. So we have questions on QuickBooks, on Tally, on Pastel, on loan amortization, and payroll accounting. So if you really need this question bank, this pamphlet, I can share it to you. Just reach out to our email or our WhatsApp number, then we shall be of help to you. So let us go straight to what has brought us here. This is the question that we are practicing. Last time what we did is that we entered all these opening balances. So we are starting with inventories. These are the opening balances for the stocks. But then what is unique with this question and the beauty of Tally is that it can help you to categorize your items in different go downs. Like you see here, these are like different stores. Some are food items, others are hardware items, you see, others are stationery items. So we are going to categorize them according to their the batch or like the stores where they fall. So these are like the warehouses. So that's what we're going to first do. But then we have to create the unit of measure, because when we are going to enter all these items, we are expected to enter them using a certain unit of measure. So I'm going to cross to our Tally package, then I enter these, I create the unit measures, then we are going to enter this other information that relates to our stocks. So here we are. The company that is highlighted in the list, it confirms that it is the one that we are working on. Okay, so if you want to create, this is the home page, the gateway to Tally. So if you want to create the unit of measure, we shall always use inventory info. So I come to inventory info, then I go to unit of measure. Okay, so I go to create. All right, so the first unit of measure, I'm going to be very fast, so you might need this question if you want to actually practice with me. So I'm going to switch the window, but me, I will be looking at a certain other window so that I can move fast. So all these unit measures, I'm going to create them for you. So the first one is a kilogram. So the symbol name is kilogram, and the formal name, we can call it kgs. 0 places, I enter. So Y, yes, accept. Then we create the next. The next is called each. So we can say EA as the formal name. Okay, I accept. So you just keep on pressing enter, accept. Then next is called bags. So I can call it BG. Yes, I'm just pressing enter. Next is called pieces. So I can call it pieces, like that. Yes. Then next is called meters. Can denote it as meters. Yes, I just press enter. Then we also have packets. Can denote it as pickets. Yes. Enter. Yes. Sorry. Next is, I see tins somewhere. So you first create, I want to first show you something before I create for tin. Now, if you check in our units of measure, we have like tins here, you see, but we have 20 kilogram tins, or like tins of 20 kilograms. So we have two things. One is a simple, like this is a combination of two unit measures. One is a simple, then when we combine them together, they become compound. So kilogram is simple, tin is simple. So when we bring them together, it becomes a compound unit measure. So for you to create a compound unit measure, which we shall, change from here, we shall change the type from simple to compound. We are going to first create the elements of that compound, unit measure. That's what I'm trying to mean. So if you check here in our question, like in here, 20 kilograms tins, we are having a combination of two simple unit measures. One is tins, then another one is kilograms. So I'll first create them in a simple manner. So that's what I'm going to do. Even for milliliters, I'll create milliliter, then I also create bottle. Then after, we shall do the compound unit measure by combining both of them and including in these figures that are assigned to those unit measures. I think that one is now very clear. So we can call it tins. Then the formal name, I can call it TNS. Enter. Then next is milliliters. So milliliters. So I can call it ML. Okay. Enter. Yes. Then we also have bottles. I can call it BTS. Okay. Enter. Then if you move down for stationery, also have RAM. I can write RMS. Okay. Enter. Yes. Then we have dozen. Yes, we have dozen. I can call it DZN. Yes. Then I think that's it. Those are the unit measures that we have. So after creating those, I can now escape to go back to the other, the gateway to Tally. So there I use the escape button. If I'm going back to the previous menu, you use the escape button. I told you where it is. You check on your keyboard, you're going to see that escape button. So I have now simply created these that I've marked red, the unit measures. Okay. Yes, these ones, the unit measures. So the next thing I do is to create these categories of the go downs. The categories, because you see these are like groups. The stock is grouped in a way that it can be easily identifiable if maybe they want to do some dispatching and some kind of arrangement like that. So I will now create, I'm not going to create the stock items. No, I'm going to first create the groups, these categories, the go downs. So you watch what you're going to do. So I come here to my Tally. This is my home page. I still go to inventory. So when I go to inventory, I click to stock groups. Okay. Then I create single. Now the first group, we are calling it hardware. Okay. It's hardware Nakasero. Go down. As the first go down, press enter. Should quantities of items be added? there we can take Y, say yes, accept. So accept, I just keep on pressing enter. That one is created. Then the next is food items Nakawa go down. That's the next category. Enter. Yes, I just put a Y. Where there is no U and you want to change it to yes, you just press Y. So enter. That has been created. The next one is stationery. Mtinda. Okay, Mtinda go down. Yes, primary, yes. Y, I put a Y here. Just press it a Y, then I press enter. That's me to accept, I press enter. Right now, what I've done is that I have created what we call those go downs. Okay, so now I can press escape. I go back to, yes, I go back to the gateway. Yeah, so that is how we set these groups or these multiple, the different go downs. So now I want to enter these items, but then in our unit measures, I've not created the compound, unit measures. We mean the unit measures that have two simple units. So we want to merge them. So I want to also create this compound, and this is how we do it. These that I have highlighted, they're the ones that we are going now to create. So still we go back here to inventories, then we go back to unit measure, then we create. So in creating here, where there is type, you will change. You can use the arrow key up. So you see we have simple and compound. So I click in compound. So press enter. So you see the simple units are already created. So the first one that I want to enter to create is the one of 20 kilogram tins. So I will start with tins. I'll call it tins. Okay, press enter. Then they're asking me, this is the first unit, tins conversion of. So here you put the figure 20. Okay, of 20, then I put kilograms. So it is tins of 20 kilograms. I'm going slowly so that people can really follow up. Yes, so that has been created. Now this is what I've created, tins of 20 kilograms. Now I'm going to create bottles of 350 mils. Now you see how we do that. So I'll come here and say bottles as my first unit of 350, enter. Then I go to the second unit, it is bottles of 350 mils. Now mils is here. Okay, press enter, I accept, yes, that has been created. Then lastly, we are going to create packets of 5 kilograms. So you come here, you start with the first one, call it packets. Where is it? Packets is here. Press enter. Of 5, okay, of 5, press enter. Of 5 bottles, I think, is it? No, of 5 kilograms. Of 5 kilograms. I don't know if I have. Yeah, packets of 5 kilograms. Kilogram is here. Press enter. Yes. Okay. So that is how we create the secondary. So if everything looks okay, you escape. So enter, escape, go back. Now this is my home. This is my home page. When you see this gateway of Tally. So now my next job is really simple, is to enter these particular roofing, these items, the stock items within our system. That is the next thing that I'm going to do. But I have to ensure that I categorize them under the go downs where they fall in. So this is how we are going to do it. Go to Tally, still on inventory info. Anything to do with inventory, you do it from the inventory info. So now instead of stock groups, I will take stock items. It's where I'm going to click. Then I create the single stock items. I want you to watch. I'll first go slowly on this first one. Then on the next thing, I will be very fast. So the first item is, you see, roofing nails. It has all this information. This is the unit cost. This is the selling price. Then also the quantity. So the quantity is the balance that is within the store. Then the selling price, this is the money at which they sell. The cost price, this is the amount at which they buy. Okay. So you come here. The first name we call it roofing. Roofing nails. Enter. So here under primary, now you pick the right category. Now the right category is hardware, so you click there, press enter. Then they're asking me the units that are applicable. We are measuring these nails in kilograms, so a kilogram is here. Enter. So they're asking me standard rate. Yes, we have to say standard. You put a Y. Now this yes will allow you to set the selling price and also the cost price. So if I press yes, they create another window, another tab to show me where to put all these amounts. So you press enter, then they're asking me the rate. So you see we have two columns. One column is for the standard cost, meaning the cost price. Then the other column is showing me the standard selling price. So that is the selling price. So we have everything here. The cost price is here, the selling price is here. So we don't have to suffer. So this is what I'm going to do. The standard cost, it is 4,000. Okay. Then I press enter, of course, per kilogram. Then keep on pressing enter. They take you to the other column. The selling rate is 8,000. You may need this question for follow-up, so you must reach out if you really need to practice. So I keep on pressing enter, again enter. So that window is also taken. Then here they're asking us the rate of duty. Now this is where we put our VAT information. You don't have to forget that. You see, they're telling us that VAT is charged at a rate of 18% for all items sold. So I'll come here on the rate of duty. The tax, I put 18%. So I move, enter. Quantity. Now the quantity is this balance. The balance that is left. This is the quantity. The balance that is left in the storage. Like at the beginning of the year, the balance, the opening balance in terms of quantity, not the money. So I put here it's 1,000. Okay. So I press enter. They're asking me at what rate. You see, this is the opening balance. So asking me at what rate are you valuing these 1,000 kilograms. So in accounting, to exercise prudence, there is a prudence concept that says you must be keen enough. You should always underestimate what you anticipate from your business. So opening stock is always valued at cost, not at the selling price. So we shall take 4,000. So you see now the value is 4,000, so that when we sell, we make a profit. So we must value it at cost. So I press enter, yes, accept, enter. Now that one has been created. So now I'm going to be very fast on these next items. Iron sheets, cement, bricks. I'm going to be very fast. So the next item is iron sheets. Enter. Category, you move down, hardware. Okay. Then it is each. That is the unit of measure. Then standard, yes, we put a Y. Enter. So the rate is 35,000 as a cost price. Enter. Then the selling price is 43,000. Enter. The duty, we still take 18. So enter the quantity. The quantity, they are showing me 600. The rate, I've told you the rate we must take the cost price. So that is it. That is how we enter all these items. I think I'm not going to enter all of them. Then let me just enter like cement. There is cement here. Still it is under hardware. That is the right category. Cement is bags. Okay. That is bags. Enter. Yes. Standard, I put yes. Why? Cement is being sold at bought at 50,000 bags each bag. Then the selling price is 85. Okay. Then bags, the rate or the duty tax, which is VAT, I put 18. It's 18%. Then the opening balance, we have in 400 bags. So I enter. The rate is of course 50,000. Enter. So giving me a value of that. Enter, enter, enter. So that is how easy it is. Should I really enter bricks? Okay, really fast. Bricks. We are here. I'm entering this item for bricks in pieces. I put in the cost, the selling price, and also the quantity. Very fast. So bricks category is under still hardware. Okay. So bricks is pieces. So I pick pieces here. Yes. Each the cost is at 500. Okay. Then the selling price is 800. Sorry, 800. Okay. The duty is still 18 if the thing is vatable. Then the opening balance is the quantity for the opening balance is actually 5,000. So the rate, we take the cost price. Okay. Yes. So let me also enter like 3, especially those that have the compound unit measures. Okay. Let us do this very fast. Iron bars. Primary is still under hardware. Then measured in meters. Okay. Meters. Yes. The rate standard cost, I see 12,000. Selling price is 18,000. Okay. That is it. The duty, put 18%. The opening balance, I see they have 200. The rate we are taking 12,000, which is for the cost price. Then that is it. So I'm done with these items. You see, after you have mastered this, it should be very easy. Now I'm going to enter food items very fast. Food items, and I want you to pay attention especially to these which have secondary, the secondary, they call it secondary unit measures. So one is salt. We have salt. Now you have to change the categorization. Salt is under food items. It's what I take. Everything I'm doing, just pressing enter. I'm sure when you start to use this Tally, then the navigation becomes easier as more as you are practicing. So salt is kilograms. No, it's packets. So we take packets. It's here, packets. Yes. Then I am entering the standard cost for salt is 2,500. Then for selling price is 18. No, is 3,800. Enter. The duty, put 18. Then the quantity, opening quantity is the opening quantity, there is 600 packets. Okay, so you need the question to be following as I'm practicing with you. Then the rate, I've told you we take the cost rate. So that is it. I press yes. Done. Now I'm going to enter the next thing, which is cooking oil. And you see for it has a compound, a compound unit measure. So cooking oil is my next item. Under food, of course I have to take food. Then it is measured as 20 kilograms of tins. So it is tins of 20 kilograms. This is what I'm going to pick. Then the standard rate, I put a Y. This Y is going to give me check the rate for salt. Is it? Yeah. No, for cooking oil is 40,000. Then the standard for the selling price is 58,000. So that is it. Have we put the right? Wait, let's go back. Okay, we are safe. Okay, enter. So that gives me the rate of 18. Then the opening is 450. Then the rate is of course 40,000. 40,000. Then enter. Yes. Next thing is soda. Soda is our next item, still under food items. Soda is measured bottles of 350 mils. So bottles of 350 mils are here. Bottles of 350 mils. I click there. Sorry. Yes. Put a yes here. A Y. Then the standard cost for soda is 750. Okay. Then the rate for the selling is 1,500. Enter. The rate is 18. What is in the store is 3,000. That is what is in the store. Then I'm taking how much for the rates. I take the cost price 750. Enter the value. Enter. Yes. Then the last item under the food is actually wheat flour. Okay. Now wheat flour, still the categorization is under food items. Let us look at check. Wheat flour is 5 kilograms packets. So it's packets of 5 kilograms. It's what we are going to enter. Packets of 5 kilograms. It's right here. Standard, I put a Y. So the cost is 12,000. Okay. Then the selling price is about 21. Okay. It's 21,000. Enter. Then the rate I put 18. Then the quantities is 1,800 in the store. So we put the rate. Sorry, I go back. Okay, enter. All these look okay. Enter. 18. Yeah, 1,800. So the rate is how much? Is 12,000. Enter. It's the value. Yes. Now the next item is the next item is full scopes. We are done with these two categories. Now we are going to do for stationery tinda go down. One is full scopes, chalk, then biro, pens. Let us enter this very fast. So I come here and we say full scopes, stationery, okay. Rem, yeah, the unit of measure is rems. Then standard rate, we say yes. So they give us that window. We enter the selling price, 8,000. Or then no, that was the cost price. Then the selling price is 13,000. Rate 18. The quantity is 5,000 in the store. The rate is we take the cost, which is 8,000. Done. Okay, the next thing is going to be chalk, categorized under stationery items. Chalk is measured in dozens, so I take dozen. I put a Y here, enter. The cost is 6,000. Then the selling is 13,000. Enter. The rate we can put 18. Then the quantity that we have in the store is 2,000 dozens. The rate is of course 6,000, okay, per dozen. I put a yes. Then we put our very last item, which is biro pens. I have a cost of 500, the selling price of 800, then 5,000 in the storage. So I say biro pens, enter. The classification is of course still stationery. Then these biro pens, we sell them each. So why we standardize, we put the cost, enter. So the rate for the biro pen is 500. Then for the selling price is absolutely, the selling price is 800 if you check, enter. So the duty tax 18. The quantity that we have in the storage is 5,000. So the rate, we take the cost price as our valuation, which is 500. Enter. So if I say yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are done. I'm going to press escape to go back, and then we see the information that we have entered, if it is there. So I keep on pressing the escape button. This is my gateway to Tally. If I want to check the information that I've actually put in, click on inventory info, go to stock. If I go to stock items, okay, and I try to display, you see what comes. They show me all the list of items that we have entered. If I take an example and click on this, they show me the information, okay. If you click on any of these, they show you the information. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being part of this session. We are going to stop here. The next thing that we shall do is that we are going to do the transactions. So for the opening balances, we are done. If you have any specialized questions that you want to ask, you can reach out to us through these contacts that you see on your screen. If you really love what we are doing, we encourage you that please, you can subscribe to this channel, and you also recommend it to some of your friends that you really think they need this. So for transaction opening balances, we have been using these two things: masters, accounts info, and inventory info. Then for transactions, we shall be using the transactions, len. So thank you so much, and we wish you good luck in your practice. In case of any help, please always reach out to us, as we have always done through these channels. Then we shall be able to help you. Thank you, God bless you, and good luck in your preps.